Do you ever feel like life just won't give you a break? Like every time you try to rise, something pushes you back down? Maybe it's people, circumstances, or just that inner voice that whispers, "You're not strong enough." Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, faced betrayal, exile, and even death, yet his mind remained unshaken. He didn't just survive pain, he mastered it. Today, we'll uncover his timeless lessons on mental toughness, how to endure, adapt, and stay calm even when everything feels like it's falling apart. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video and subscribe, because together, we're learning how to live like true Stoics in a chaotic world. Number 1. Control your reactions, not the world. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about that. Most of our pain doesn't come from what happens, but from how we interpret it. Someone insults you, and your mind instantly builds a story. "They disrespected me. I'll never tolerate this." Suddenly, you're fighting a war that exists only in your head. Mental toughness begins when you learn to pause before reacting. Not everything deserves your energy. When you stop trying to control the world and instead control your response to it, you gain freedom. Life will test you with chaos, rude people, bad days, disappointments, but you can decide not to let them dictate your peace. That's your real power. Here's a funny truth. Most of the time, people aren't even thinking about us as much as we imagine. They're busy worrying about themselves. So the next time someone tries to get under your skin, remember, you can't be dragged into their storm if you stay anchored in your calm. Seneca taught that no external blow can truly harm you unless your mind agrees to it. Train that mind to stay still amid noise, and you'll find yourself unshakable. Not because life is easy, but because you stopped expecting it to be. Number 2, embrace discomfort before it comes. Seneca practiced something called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Each day, he imagined losing what he loved, facing hardship, or being betrayed. Why? Because when you mentally face your fears before they arrive, you weaken their power. Modern life tells us to stay positive, but Stoicism says, be prepared. Think of it like mental weightlifting. You don't go to the gym only when life's easy. You train to be ready for when it's hard. If you rehearse challenges in your mind, when real problems appear, they won't shock you. They'll just be another rep. It might sound dark, but it's actually liberating. You stop being afraid of what might happen because you've already met it in your imagination. When life finally throws the punch, you'll be ready, not panicking, but calmly saying, I've trained for this. And who knows, sometimes, when you expect the worst, life surprises you with peace instead. Seneca would probably laugh and say, well, at least I over-prepared. That's Stoic humor for you, expecting suffering and still smiling through it. Number 3, don't waste energy on what you can't change. Seneca once said, he who suffers before it is necessary, suffers more than necessary. Many people spend their days trying to fix things that are simply beyond control. The past, the economy, someone's opinion, or even the weather. That's not toughness, that's exhaustion. True strength is in choosing where your energy goes. When you accept that not everything deserves your fight, you become efficient. You stop chasing every problem like a firefighter with a leaky hose. You learn to say, this is outside my control. Let be. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. Imagine someone cuts you off in traffic. You can rage and ruin your whole day, or you can shrug, play your favorite song, and enjoy your peace. The Stoics always chose the second option, not because they didn't care, but because they cared about the right things. Seneca would remind us, if you want to be invincible, don't fight what you can't control. Save that precious energy for your growth, your purpose, and your self-mastery. The more selective you are about your battles, the stronger you become. Number 4, hard times reveal who you really are. Seneca wrote that fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men. Everyone can seem calm when life is easy, but real strength is shown when everything falls apart. The Stoics didn't just talk about resilience, they lived it. Exile, loss, betrayal, Seneca faced them all with dignity. You can't avoid pain, but you can choose what it makes of you. Hard times can either harden your heart or strengthen your character. The difference lies in your perspective. If you treat challenges as training, not punishment, you'll grow stronger, calmer, and wiser with each trial. And let's be honest, sometimes life tests you in funny ways. Like when your phone dies right when your crush texts back, or your Wi-Fi disappears in a video call with your boss. Maybe the universe is just giving you a stoic workout, a patience exercise you didn't sign up for. But through every setback, remember, Seneca endured worse, and yet his letters still speak peace thousands of years later. You too can turn your struggles into strength, if you face them without bitterness, but with purpose. Number 5, leave with purpose, not for approval. One of Seneca's most powerful ideas was to live by your principles, not by others' applause. He said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor." In today's world of likes, views, and endless comparison, that message is pure gold. Mental toughness is impossible if you constantly seek validation. The moment your happiness depends on others' opinions, you've given away your peace. A Stoic doesn't perform to impress. He acts from inner conviction. You know what's right, you do it, and you move on. Seneca believed that a strong mind comes from alignment, when your actions reflect your values. When you stop chasing approval, you finally start living freely. It's funny, the less you care about being liked, the more people respect you. It's one of life's great ironies. Number 6, learn to walk alone. Seneca once said, "Associate with those who may improve you." But he also warned, never depend on others for strength. Mental toughness means you can walk alone without losing your direction. Too often, we depend on external validation, friends, partners, even society, to feel okay. But what happens when they vanish? Who are you when no one is cheering for you? To be strong, you must become comfortable with solitude. Solitude is not loneliness, it's power. It's where you meet your real self, where your mind sharpens and your soul steadies. Seneca used isolation not as punishment, but as a teacher. He called it the school of the wise. The world worships connection, but few realize that the deepest connection you can have is with your own principles. If you can sit in silence without craving distraction, you're stronger than most. And yes, it's funny. Sometimes you'll talk to yourself so much that you'll start giving yourself advice like Seneca. But that's a good sign. You're learning to be your own philosopher. So don't fear being alone. Fear being surrounded by noise that keeps you from hearing your own wisdom. As Seneca would say, the calm mind doesn't need a crowd to feel whole. Number 7, transform pain into power. Seneca taught that every pain hides a gift, a chance to grow, to refine your mind, to test your spirit. Most people see pain as something to escape. The Stoic sees it as material, raw clay from which strength is shaped. You can't control pain, but you can choose what it becomes in your life. He believed that adversity is not the enemy, it's the sculptor. Every scar, every heartbreak, every failure is a lesson carved into your character. When something hurts, ask, what can this teach me about myself? About life? That question alone turns pain into wisdom. And here's the twist. The very moment you stop fighting pain, it starts losing its grip. Resistance multiplies suffering. Acceptance transforms it. It's like holding a burning coal. The tighter you grip it, the more it burns. Let it rest lightly in your hand, and suddenly it becomes tolerable, even useful. Seneca would probably chuckle and say, if pain visits you, offer it tea. Because that's how he lived, welcoming discomfort as a teacher. To build mental toughness, don't wish for an easier path. Wish for the strength to walk the hard one with grace. Number 8, stop wasting time. It's your only true possession. Seneca wrote an entire essay titled On the Shortness of Life. His message? Life isn't short, We just waste most of it. We waste time worrying, complaining, scrolling, chasing meaningless things. Then one day, we wake up realizing the greatest theft wasn't from others, it was from ourselves. He said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Imagine if you treated your time like money, tracking every minute as if it mattered. You'd probably spend less on nonsense. Mental toughness means realizing your attention is your life. Guard it fiercely. The Stoics viewed every day as a loan from fate, something to use wisely, not squander. You can't control how long you live, but you can control how deeply you live each day. Every minute spent on self-pity or envy is stolen from your peace. Seneca's humor was dry, but cutting. He once joked that people guard their property better than their time. Yet time is the one thing that can never be replaced. So if you're serious about strength, start by mastering how you spend your hours. The clock is ticking, whether you're aware or not. Number 9, practice inner detachment, even from what you love. This might sound cold, but Seneca taught it out of compassion. He said, "Let us love our friends as we would love those who are mortal." In other words, love deeply, but without clinging. Mental toughness isn't about being heartless. It's about loving wisely. The Stoic knows that everything can be taken away: people, possessions, health, status. So instead of attaching your happiness to fragile things, attach it to your values. That way, when loss comes, and it always does, it won't destroy you. You'll grieve, yes, but you won't break. Seneca often reminded his students to mentally say goodbye to what they had, not to be morbid, but to stay grounded. He said, "We should enjoy what we have, but be ready to let it go." That's not detachment from life, that's mastery of it. It's almost funny how the more we let go, the lighter we feel. You start realizing that freedom isn't in owning more, but in needing less. Seneca lived simply, even when he was wealthy, to remind himself that comfort should never become a cage. True toughness is loving fully and letting go peacefully when the time comes. Number 10, prepare your mind for death, and you will fear nothing. Seneca believed that to live well, you must make peace with death. Sounds dark, right? But here's the truth. Fear of death is the root of all anxiety. We waste life trying to avoid the inevitable. The Stoic faces it head on, not with dread, but with calm understanding. He wrote, "Rehearse death daily," not because he was obsessed with dying, but because he wanted to live without fear. When you accept that life is temporary, you stop wasting it. You stop arguing over small things. You stop delaying what truly matters. Everything becomes sharper. Every sunrise, every laugh, every breath. The Stoics treated death as a reminder to live deliberately. Imagine if every morning you woke up thinking, "If this were my last day, how would I live it?" You'd forgive faster, love deeper, and complain less. That's not depression, that's liberation. Seneca had a sense of humor even here. He said, "Death is not an evil, it's the end of all evils." And he meant it. Once you stop fearing the end, you can finally begin. That's the ultimate mental toughness, to look mortality in the face and still smile. So remember, strength isn't about being unfeeling or robotic. It's about facing life as it is, unpredictable, fragile, but deeply meaningful. That's what Seneca mastered, and that's what you can too. Seneca reminds us that strength isn't built in comfort. It's forged in discomfort. Every time you face rejection, failure, or loss, you're being trained to rise above emotion and act with reason. Mental toughness isn't about pretending life doesn't hurt. It's about seeing the pain as a teacher, not an enemy. Seneca once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." And that's what Stoicism really is, not the denial of pain, but the mastery of it. So, the next time life throws you into chaos, don't rush to escape it. Step back, observe, respond with calm and purpose. That's how you grow unshakable. That's how you turn storms into wisdom. And if Seneca were alive today, he'd probably remind us that while we can't control what happens, we can control how we face it, with courage, clarity, and peace. Stay disciplined, stay calm, and keep walking the Stoic path.